So I come from a very big family on the East Coast. And my family, I'll give you a little history of me. My father is a very machismo man, very arrogant, and a narcissist of the truest form before there was a name for it, with an ego so big. And he always prided himself on being a bad guy. One of his sayings was, I'll try anything at least once. He had a lot of sayings that weren't good for his own personal benefit. But he got married to a very traditional woman. And during his marriage of being a bad guy in the 60s and 70s, of just being a straight wild man, he had a submissive wife at home. And she got fed up one day and she gave another man a chance. Yeah, she cheated on him. And she decided, I know how to get back at this man. I'll get pregnant by another man, have him raise this child, and it'll be my little secret. It'll be good for my self esteem to know that I got one up on him. All this cheating on me and treating me wrong, I got a great idea. I have a child and tell him that it's his, and I'll know, and he'll have to live with the fact that I'm sick of his shit. And now, ha, you're raising a child that doesn't belong to you. That's how I'll get him back. So she got pregnant, and she had a child, and that child was me. So I lived a life of not understanding why am I so different. In fact, when I was born, the day I was born, and they were deciding a name to name me, that's when my father named me a name to show his wife, I know this ain't my child. I know you cheated on me. See, the guy my mother possibly cheated on my father with, he was a kung fu artist. And my dad used to tell me stories when he was drunk. And it always stuck in my mind. And I never understood why he would tell me this. But he would say, yeah, there was this guy, your mother, she was messing around with at the time. He was like a kung fu guy. And me and him got in a fight. And I caught his leg like this, and I did that, and I beat him up. And he would tell me that story out of nowhere. And I'd listen as a little child while he's drunk, spending time with him. And I would always wonder, why does he tell me this story? It took many years till I was a middle aged man before it all started making sense to me. You see, my dad told my mother the name he wanted to give for me. Why don't we call him Bruce Lee? See, that was an inside joke that only him and my mother would know. That was his way of telling her, you think you're slick? I know this isn't my child. Why don't we call him Bruce Lee? My mom didn't catch on to that till the following morning. She decided to change that name. But it was at that moment that she realized that, oh wow, he already knows that I cheated on him and who I cheated on him with. So here I am, newborn baby in this world. And I gotta look up out of my crib to a man where my very existence is a stain on his ego. My very existence is an assault on him as a man. But what he said is we'll keep this secret to ourselves. But as far as this child right here, I'm not going to leave the woman. I'm not going to move on. This will be this child's secret. And I'll show you what kind of man he is. I'll show you he'll be a nobody. You'll see through him that you made a big mistake cheating on me. So when I was looking up at him as my father, my dad, he was looking down at me with pure hatred in his eyes from the moment I was born. You see, the only thing worse than a woman leaving a man when she has his child is if that man doesn't love that woman, or no, if that man doesn't love that child and she decides still to stay with that man. And if that man decides that he's still gonna stay with that woman, but instead of this embarrassing me, because I'm so machismo, instead of this embarrassing me and letting the truth come out that your woman cheated on you and had a baby by another man, I'll take this out on the baby. I can take all my frustrations of this scenario and I can keep it to myself. And I can attack this child self-esteem so bad that when he grows up to be a man who stares at his shoes, stares down everywhere he walks, crippled by crippling self-esteem issues, he can pretend like he had nothing to do with that. See, you shouldn't have cheated on me. Look at him. He's such a shell of a human being. You see, child abuse comes in many forms. Child abuse can be physically, sexually, or mentally. And I was mentally abused, physically abused. See, I lived a life where I experienced nothing but extreme hatred from a father. Even my very existence, just walking in a room, just sent him into a rage. I was liable to get beat severely for just knocking over an antenna on a television, for doing the smallest infractions living in a home. But anything I did outside of home that damaged myself didn't really seem to get any reaction. You're constantly trying to get the approval. I was constantly trying to get the approval of my father, and there was nothing I could do to get that. And there was a reason for it, where he said in his heart, I know who this child is, and it's not mine. And I'll never get close to him or show him any type of love. In fact, over the years, the hatred just got worse and worse. You see, I have reason to believe that in this narcissist mind, he understood that he couldn't just kill me. The hatred was so deep that yes, I do believe that my father wished that he could have killed me. And maybe during a different time period, he would have. But because he couldn't kill me, he'll just show me extreme hatred and unjust father. It was apparent to my siblings and the mother and anybody viewing the family that I was hated. For what reason? Nobody knew except him and my mother. I look at incidents through my life as an adult when I look back at my childhood of times when my father would force me to go play with my older brother, who's 6 years older than me. But it was never play. It was always attempts of my older brother to put me in scenarios where I would end my life. Every time I used to go out and walk with my brother when I was young, maybe I was like 4 years old, so he was 10 years old. His idea of fun, my older brother, was to dislocate my arms when he got me into a high place like a high tree, even a crane at once. For what fun is it to dislocate a child's arms so that he can fall to his death? What would happen is after a time period, he would put my arm back in the socket. I would climb down and finally reach the ground. And when I would come home and tell my dad what had happened, nothing would happen to him. Absolutely nothing. Looking back at it, I know that this reaction, now that I'm a man, that the reaction I was getting was of a parent that put him up to it. These kind of things sound far-fetched. No way a parent would do that. Are you sure? Many children have been locked in cars in the summer with a parent who simply forgot they were inside a car in the middle of summer in Arizona with the burning heat, and that child died in a trapped car. Just because a parent has a child doesn't mean they love that child. This went on my entire youth. My older brother had another game that we would play where he would lift the mattress up and put me in between the box spring and the mattress, and then just lay down on it. Him My little brother and sister would all get on the bed and put weight on the mattress. While I'm screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. That was the game. What kind of game was that? See, these were the games that I played with. These were the games that I played with, that we considered games, or I considered games. There was never no baseball, no basketball, no actual playing. You see, when I was young, there was attempts on my life disguised as play. Obviously, when I told my father what was happening at the end of the day, I would always get met with the same reaction. Nothing. Nothing. When I damn near died again, and there is no reaction. See, these were the sadistic games that were played. Just a few. I don't want to go on to explain all the cruelness of a child towards another child, or the video would be too long. But the games were intended to end my life so that a narcissistic father could heal from his narcissistic wound. See, I'm call it what it is now that I'm an adult. I lived a childhood in hell with the very person that's there to provide for me and protect me, not providing, not protecting. In fact, wishing I was never born. So when I finally got of age and moved out at 17, that was the beginning of my healing. No longer in that environment where I'm the shame of the family for what my mother did to my father. See, getting this off my chest and understanding the truth. Yeah, so what are you saying, that you're a bastard child? Exactly. Where I'm a get back baby used to punish another person. And I didn't sign up for this either. But my mother put me on a pathway, used me as cannon fodder towards my father, and didn't give me a choice. And he tried every tactic he could to break my will. The mental abuse was on a whole nother level. And to add insult to injury, all this was being masked as a Jehovah's Witness. The whole suit and the tie and the Bible and the world can end at any time. But here you are abusing your child mentally. He's playing chess, and as a child, I'm playing Nintendo. He's going to do a number on my life, doing everything he could possibly do without going to jail. Mental abuse, you figure it out later, much, much later, if you can ever figure it out at all. If you can ever take away your emotions and just call things for what they truly, truly are. There is a reason why your father didn't like you. There is a reason why your older brother didn't like you. There is a reason why your family didn't like you. Are you ready for the truth? I was not ready then, but I am ready now. Only through the grace of the Most High was I able to survive. You see, somebody else had other plans for my destiny. Get this guy to kill himself. That was the plans that my father had towards me, or my dad had towards me. For I'm a narcissistic injury on him. And I must be confused about this, locked and imprisoned with these questions that beckon in my mind for the rest of my life. But I take my power back. And to that narcissistic father, who I may or may not be his child, and for the record, I hope I'm not. But for that narcissistic father who said, whether I'm his child or not, he said, I'll just go along with he ain't. See, there was no DNA test back then. And whether I'm his child or not, he decided to say, I don't think this is my child. And he decided to say, I'm going to go along with this, not for the first year or the second year or the third year, but for this whole child's entire existence. I will always look at this child and know, you're not my child. Whether I am or not, it doesn't matter. It only matters what one believes. This is the mental abuse that can happen. Women, listen. When that man does not love your child, you have to make a choice. Either you leave him and let his grown ass suffer like a man, He's a grown ass man, he can deal with it. Or you don't leave him and you let that child suffer, and the child can't deal with it. Only through the help of the Most High was I able to survive. For here I am as an infant going to war against an adult male. You see, I had no experience with my father in my life. So all you people who feel horrible that you didn't have your father in your life, it could have been worse. You could have had your dad in your life, but he didn't think you was his child. It could have been worse. See, I had a horrible upbringing. Not one moment can I tell you, there wasn't one time going to the park to play with my dad. There wasn't one time of playfulness, of a hug, or of a just showing you that they love you. You see, this was crazy to me as an adult. I lived a whole lifehood with my father. Never got a hug, never got this, never got that, never got a toy. Didn't get clothes. I used to go to high school wearing the same clothes every single day. I was known as the kid with the Slimer shirt from Ghostbusters on. And I wore that shirt every day to school. You see, I grew up wondering as I got an adult. These simple things in life are so easy to provide for a child. Goodwill, you can buy a shirt for $1. Why was I done like this when I was a child? Why wasn't I given any clothes, food, or anything? Yeah, I stayed underneath his roof. And he claimed me on his taxes each year. So guess what? I paid for my living as a child. Because that same money for taking care of his child, he wasn't spending a dime on me. That's for sure. Because I ain't his child. And the mother sit there and the whole victimized, and she went along with it. It would cause her embarrassment if the truth ever came out. So she watched as her child had no clothing, no shoes, no nothing, was given nothing. You know what it was? It was just a little bit above enough where you can't say it's nothing. It was once. It was one time you were, one time you got school clothes. So you can't say it wasn't never. It was one time you got a shirt. So you can't say it was never. I gave you one shirt. It was one time. But see, when you become an adult and you realize that you can walk into Walmart and spend $200, you realize that you can go to Goodwill for $50 and you could buy out the whole store in clothing. You start realizing that your parents could have did a lot more in your life, but they chose not to. I remember one time my father, and this was the one time and only time that I could remember him taking me to a park. Perhaps it wasn't the only time, but I remember this particular time. See, my dad, he used to like to jog a lot. So I wanted to go with him to the park. And he decided to, while he was jogging and he got to the canal, that he would run and run his fastest. So he leaves me in the dust. Nothing wrong with that. But this is the middle of summer in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. And if you know anything about the summers in Phoenix, Arizona, It can easily get up to 115 to 120 degrees. So I passed out as a child. When I woke up, I remember being woke up trapped in a car, crying. When I finally realized where I was at, and I was able to unlock the car doors and get out of that vehicle. Keep in mind, I'm like 3 or 4 years old, haven't even started school. I go inside a building and I open the door and I see it's a bar. And as soon as I open the door, I see a group of other males all sitting together drinking. Looks like they're having a celebration. And I see my dad in the middle of it, laughing, celebrating, and having a beer. I remember one of the people there said, "Oh, see, hey, there it goes right there." I remember that part. So, of course, they were laughing and drinking, and the topic was me. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I'm dying of thirst right now. So, I was given some beer from my dad, and I drunk up. And everybody at the table started laughing, and look at this. And I'm just drinking that beer, just so thirsty. I say, because I'm a little kid. That's nasty. Then I come home as a little kid. I'm bragging to my sister and brother. I drank beer today. I did. I went out. I drank beer today. I don't even know what happened to me was abuse. Till I became older and I reflected on it. You see, my dad, after seeing me passed out, he finally got the opportunity that he's been waiting for. So he put me in the back seat of his car in the middle of summer in Arizona. And he went off to the bar to celebrate. See, when he was at that bar, he opened his fat mouth, even talking to strangers about it. He might have told him the whole truth. Even told him that his car, he's in the back of my car right now, about to leave this realm. And I could finally say good riddance to this other man's baby. But here I come through the front door, soaking wet in sweat, and damn near just died. See, it took me a lifetime to understand what happened that day. And I had to let my ego go, because the truth will set you free. Some people need a big fuck you. Some people need to be put in their place. You are a child abuser. You are a covert. You see what he did that day? He could have brushed it off as an accident. He could have brushed it off as just a freak accident where he forgot his son was in the back seat of the car, and he could cry and he could pretend to cry, and it could seem devastating, and people could console him and they could hug him and tell him, "Oh, I feel so sorry for you." And he could sit back and say, I just lost my child. And but when he goes home and looks in the mirror, he'll have the biggest smile on his face. I just got this get back baby out of my life. I could go on because I lived a life of abuse, covert abuse. This channel is a confessional. This channel is bigger than me. This channel is a confessional, so it will remain anonymous for all the listeners out there, so that they can also tell their stories, tell the raw truth, the ugly truth. Yeah, it is an ugly truth for me to accept that I would be called what you would call a bastard, and that my very birth was an assault on the man I called my dad. Okay, I gotta walk in that truth. But you walk in the truth of being a child abuser, homie. You walk in your truth. Because we're gonna stand in this now. No longer a child, but I'm a man. You see, there is a pain that I would have to deal with by holding in someone else's secrets. Well, I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care who the fuck do you think you fucking are. See, that's what's you all you get back babies. That's where you take back your power. When you stand up straight and say, who the fuck do you think you are? I will be nobody's victim. And you will not put limitations on my existence. You will not label me something and then hide back from your label. You see, to my dad, you are a coward, for you should have left my mom when you said that she had a child by another man, and I don't think I can deal with this. You should have man up and you should have left her. But instead, you said, no, I'll take my frustrations out on this child. But boy, you made me strong. I've been going to war since birth. This ain't new to me. If it's too angry, if I sound like I'm not over it, of course, this is something I have to deal with, but I embrace it because what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. This is a confessional. This is a place anonymously. This is bigger than me. This is for all the get back babies all over the world. It's time to take your power back. The only way you can do that is with a cold, hard truth. Get it off your chest. Accept reality and also accept the truth that nobody determines your destiny except you. And how dare somebody be that presumptuous to think that they can control another man's life? I embrace it. And for the fact that I may not know who my father is, That means that I am the pioneer of a new generation. I am the first of integrity, morals, and values. I will not be a scum of the earth like that child abuser that tried to take me out and made an enemy of even my own brother in his pursuits of taking me out. These are the truths of people's lives. These are the secrets that we bury deep, deep. But you decide. I decide to let it go, to move on, and to get it out my system. There ain't shit wrong with me. Mom, you fuck somebody else. Dad, you believe that I'm not your child. That's what the hell happened. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't asked to be here. Mom, you should have woman up and you should have left. Dad, you should have man up and you should have left. But to save face and to pretend like you're perfect, you became straight up a child abuser. Scum of the earth. Now you can say whatever you want to say to me. Yeah, but you're a bastard. I didn't ask to be one. And that don't mean a damn thing to me. Because I'm a man who can take care of his damn self and who's a damn good provider with morals and integrity and dignity. And you will not make me keep your secret a secret any longer. The truth is coming out now. So all my get back babies all over, it's time to stand up. Tell your story. Stop burying it deep inside of you because it's what's making you suffer. Why are you holding on to somebody else's secrets? It's time to walk in the truth. And the truth, no matter how bad it is, will set you free. Stop holding on to it. For this is like shit in your body. You're holding on to it. You need to release it and let it go in the past if you want to move on in the future. I'm not holding on to no family secret stuck in the past. I'm supposed to just deal with a big question mark in my life till the day I die off. Fuck that! Fuck that question. I take that question mark and I squash it. I squash it. I step on it and I crush it. The hell with that question mark. This is what it is. I'm a bastard child who was abused. And even if I'm not a bastard child, my father sure thought I won and there was no DNA to prove it. So there you go. These are the give back babies. There's a reason why you're a black sheep. You don't understand why your parents or your mother or your father hated you so much. It had nothing to do with you. But it's time for you to stand up and take your power back and call truth a truth and a lie a lie. You will not be the lie no more. You will not hold anybody's secrets within you. Let them deal with their shit. You did what you did. I didn't cheat on my father and hurt him. I just was born. You didn't cheat on your mother and she hated you and for whatever fucking reason, you're just a child. These people decide when you were a child. to label you and determine you for the rest of your life. And goddamn, how dare they? The arrogance of these pricks to think that they are going to tell another human being who the fuck they are. This is how you heal, my friend. For my listener, you say, oh, look, he's getting triggered. Of course, I'm getting it off my chest. See, I'm letting this shit out. And whenever you get the shit out of you, it frees you, makes you a better person. Don't hold on to shit. This channel will remain anonymous. This channel will be a confessional for all my give back babies. It's time to get our life back. Peace.